Hello, everyone. Welcome on back. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's the #1 tennis betting podcast brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. The waiting is finally over. The first major of 2024 is here. It's the Australian Open, and this is the show you've been waiting for. It's the best bets on the first round. And who better to mark your card than our senior ATP Tour handicapper, Mr. Sean Calvert. Now, Sean, I've given you a big G up there, mate.
You
Big
have.
intro.
You've gone a bit overboard there.
Big G up. You've got to perform. Looking forward to this one. I know sometimes your mood's good, sometimes your mood bad. You're feeling confident. You're ready to go. You're ready.
I am ready. If I can get my tooth fixed in a little while, I'm ready. Yeah. You know me and majors. We're not the best of friends a lot of the time. It is the lowest underdog winner percentage of the season, all four of them, particularly the Australian Open and the French Open. So it's a challenge, and obviously it's early season as well. A lot of these players, we haven't even seen them on a tennis court at all, have we, so far in 2024? So it's a challenge, but it's one that I'm more than willing to accept.
You know your fate on a major, I always find, after week one, didn't you? You know, you could get everything right on week one, and then going to week two, you're pumped and everything's going right, and you've got two players at big prices into the second week. Or after week one, you could absolutely do it all in, and you'd be like, absolutely mortified. It's a funny thing, majors.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the second week. It's all about the first week for me. The second week tends to be a much harder to find value.
Yeah, and hence one of the reasons why we don't really give so many picks on the second round or the second week of a major, because you know, how wrong can you be when you've got the best players in the world going up? It's the round one that we like to do. We don't concentrate on show courts. We're out on court number 14. We're out number 12.
Some of these might be on show courts, but yeah, generally I prefer the ones that are a little bit out of the spotlight. But value is where it is.
Value is where it is. Now, you have given us 5 matches to talk about for today for round one. Now, I'm scrolling through the Bet Rivers
Some of
website.
These are box office names, these.
They are. Round one, you would have thought. I mean, the first match we're going to talk about, well, 2 of these matches, you could think they were major semi-finals or quarterfinals or potentially even
There's
finals.
Some good ones, aren't there, this round one? Brought up a lot of good matches.
Amazing. So we have an outright show. We have a tournament winner show that hopefully you've watched that. You would have turned the conditions. But if you haven't watched that, Sean's going to just get us a little bit out of the conditions, Sean. They're going to be quite quick, medium pace. It's not, the weather's not going to be as hot as it has been over the years, but you really want to be on someone who can serve the ball quite fast, really, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we talked at some length about the balls fluffing up on the outright show. Check that out if you want to learn about that. Leighton Hewitt said it's probably a bit quicker than Sydney, which was where they played at United Cup a couple of weeks ago. It's not a quick outdoor hard court. It depends on the weather. If it's blazing hot, the outside courts will get pretty quick, but it's not set to be that hot, certainly for the first week, which is all we can look at the minute. Average is 80% hold, 72% first serve points won in the 4 editions that has been played on a green set court. It's just slightly quicker than the US Open, not as quick as Wimbledon, which itself isn't quick for a grass court, but it's a medium-ish, maybe edging towards the slightly quicker side of a hard court.
Now, these matches will be played on Saturday evening, Eastern time, which is Sunday over in Australia. We're recording this on Friday afternoon in the UK, so Friday morning Eastern time. So we don't know the order of play yet. So make sure you head to the Bet Rivers website already, which is almost like, sort of 30 hours before the first ball being struck. There's 37 different markets on some of these matches, and there's 37 different markets available on the first match we're going to talk about. And this is a blockbuster to start off with. So you really want to head to the Bet Rivers website. If you don't want to head to the Bet Rivers, you want to take a chance. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern time is really when the action will start. So make sure you head across to see when these matches start. We don't know the order of play yet, as I said. You don't want to miss out. So the first match we're going to talk about is a big one. Felix Auger-Aliassime, the Canadian, falling down the world rankings just into the sort of high 20s now, against Dominic Thiem, the US Open champion. Did he make the final of the Australian Open? Was he in a former Australian Open final? I think he's gone deep. I think he did make the Australian Open final. But a player that was right at the top of his game. Obviously, injuries over the last few years has seen him fall down. Felix Auger-Aliassime has also had injuries as well. He's fallen down the rankings as well. So these are a big match for these players to really we galvanise their career and show that everybody else that they're not sort of a spent force in the men's game anymore. Felix Auger-Aliassime is an overwhelming favourite. He's minus 195, which does appear to be very, very low to me. Dominic Thiem is plus 155. He famously got beat by Rafael Nadal. Rafael has come back in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. The handicap here is 3.5. The spread 3.5. Auger-Aliassime giving up 3.5 minus 103. Dominic Thiem is plus 305. The total is 40.5. High. Remember, these are best of 5 set matches. So you're going to see high numbers here. Over is 40.5 at minus 113 and under is minus 113 as well. Felix hasn't played one match this year, lost it. Altmaier, shock defeat. Lost his last match of last year as well against Tsitsipas. And Dominic Thiem just comes through an exhibition match with a good win against Serendulu. He's been beaten by Murray in that exhibition match. And like I said, he got beat by Nadal in Brisbane. This is a really difficult match to start with, Sean. They met twice before, one win apiece. 2022 and 2020 at the US Open with Thiem won 7-6, 6-1, 6-1. But I'm quite intrigued to where you want to go here because this looks like a minefield for me.
Yeah, the money line's not great. I mentioned the other week about, well, the other day, in fact, about Felix, didn't I? I said he started the season shakily as a general rule, and he's now 1-6 win-loss at main level in opening matches over the year. Lost to Altmaier. We talked about the Altmaier match. I talked about Felix and overs. He's the guy that kind of keeps on giving in those sort of bets, really. He's serving well enough, just doesn't break often enough. 14.6% breaks a serve in the last 12 months on outdoor hard at main level. It's not enough. Delving further into the stats, 10 of his last 19 main level matches on outdoor hard, that's 53%, have gone to at least 12 games in set one. And a massive 20 of his last 23 have gone over 9.5 games. So he doesn't do quick sets. He tends to start majors quite shakily and sort of nervously anyway. And he's playing a guy in Thiem who has similar problems on return on a hard court. He's only won 32% of his return points on outdoor hard at main level this past 12 months, which is it's just nowhere near enough, really. He's talked about it himself. He hasn't got the return positioning quite right. It doesn't seem to be just working for him anymore. His game has taken a massive fall from where he was to where he is now. He's broken serve 17% of the time, but that's slightly flattering because he's taken 50% of his breakpoint chances, which is big. So that number should be slightly less, really. So based on everything that Felix does, based on everything that Thiem does, set one over 10.5 games at plus 165. Wow. The Bet Rivers, that's got to be the bet.
That does seem a very big price, doesn't it? I mean, what did you look at the tiebreak as well? The first set, is he, usually around about,
but I can't remember what it was now.
I mean,
obviously bigger than 2.6. It's probably about 2-1, I should think.
Yeah, I mean that's a very, very tasty price there. Felix Auger-Aliassime against Dominic Thiem, and both players are going to really. This is a big match for them, isn't it? In the state of their careers. I mean, they're not. This is a huge match for both of these players to try to progress and try to get some form back. So it's the first set will be edgy and close, and plus 165 there over 10.5 games is a really nice bet to start proceedings on round one. I'm going to could go one of all ways. I could go right in on round one with the winner and kick on, or I could be sunk after the first match of the first play of the year. But
yeah, I mean, there's so many matches, aren't there? And I could have talked about another 5, 10, because this is quite unusual for a major to have this many kind of really kind of popcorn, if you want to call it that, matchups. There's been an awful lot of them. We could have talked about a lot more.
Yeah, head to the Betters website. They're all available. There's Safin against Grigor. I saw that one. I thought that was a really interesting game for round one. The next match we're going to talk about is another one. This is an incredible match. Two former major finalists, Stefanos Tsitsipas, who made the final here, and obviously Matteo Berrettini, who made the final at Wimbledon a couple of years back against. Both of them got beat by Djokovic. Surprise, surprise. Tsitsipas here is a player that's coming in with a really bad run of form at the end of last year. Obviously, he's in love now with Paolo.
Is that still happening?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm asking you.
He hasn't called me. I've tried to ring her to see if it's still on.
You're normally all over this Instagram stuff. You know what's going on, don't you?
I did for a little while, but I tried to do because we win Instagram. It's hard on Instagram. If anyone's got Instagram, give us a follow, because I'll tell you what, that is hard work.
It's a full-time job, I think. Yeah,
it is hard. We're not glamorous enough for Instagram.
No, well, no comment, but no, I don't think we are.
We're not. To be Instagram.
Stefanos Tsitsipas and Paolo Badosa, that's for sure.
Yeah, but if you're going out taking a dog for a walk on Instagram, you're going down your local pub and having a pint of Stella, you're not really hitting the targets of Instagram, really.
It's not cutting it, is it?
You know, you're going to basketball practice or football practice with Lagan. You're not really going to get the Instagrammers on, you know.
No,
And
I haven't got that sort of glamorous lifestyle. I don't think that's required.
I know, nor have I.
You have a little bit.
Only when I'm abroad. I live a very safe. I go down the local working man's club and watch like Tina Turner impersonations. No,
I forgot about that.
That's not going to be Instagrammable. Anyway,
no.
These two are Instagrammable. Two very, very good looking guys. Probably the best two good looking fellas on the tour. They're probably the best two good looking fellas in tennis, apart from myself and Sean. But it's Tsitsipas against Matteo Berrettini. Tsitsipas, like I say, really bad sort of end of last year. He sort of loved up. His game went off. You can see his dad getting more and more angry with his performances.
He fired his dad at one stage, didn't he?
Hey, yeah,
fired his dad and brought in Philippoussis, and then he got rid of him.
Brave man. But he hasn't done too well at the start of this year. He played 2 matches, won one, lost one. And he plays Berrettini, who hasn't played since that awful injury in the US Open against Rinconech when he left Flushing Meadow on a wheelchair and he's in tears. Really, really bad injury there. And he obviously come back from a really bad injury but prior to that. So what state Berrettini is going to be in is we really don't know.
And Tsitsipas injured as well, wasn't he, end of last season?
Yes.
Back injury. Start this season as well.
So this is an interesting one here. Stefanos Tsitsipas is a heavy favourite though, minus 315 with Bet Rivers. And Matteo Berrettini is currently plus 245. On the spread, it's a 4.5 start you can get with Tsitsipas giving up the 4.5 at minus 109. Receiving 4.5 is Berrettini minus 117. And the total here, one lower than the Auger-Aliassime match against Thiem is 39.5 here with over minus 121.5. The head-to-head, if you like head-to-heads, I know we've spoken about this in the past, but the head-to-head's very, very strong in favour of Tsitsipas. 6-1, the Greek leads against the Italian here, and he won his last match in the United Cup at the start of last year in 2023. They've met once before in the Australian Open as well, twice before in the Australian Open actually, and Tsitsipas won them both as well. This is an interesting one because if they were both fit, you would expect it to be a long one. And when you look, I don't know your bet here, Sean, but I'm looking at their head-to-heads here, and the amount of tie breaks these two have played. I'm thinking that potentially could be your angle of attack here.
You are correct. It's a similar way of thinking and a similar bet to the Felix one, really. You know, the head-to-head. If you look into the stats of it, Tsitsipas has held serve 97% of the time in the four the 4 hard court matches that he's played against Berrettini. And Berrettini's not done bad either. 90% holds against Tsitsipas. As you said, they've played a massive 0.58 tie breaks per set against each other on hard courts. And you can see why. The return points won 25% Berrettini, 29% Tsitsipas. So you can't get a more serve dominated matchup than this. Going slightly further, Tsitsipas has gone to at least 12 games in 8 of his last 11 opening sets against the players I have in my database as big servers. So that's 73% of the time. Or if you want to equate that to odds, it'd be 1.37 or minus 270 that it goes to 12 games, either over 10.5 in the opening set. As far as Berrettini is concerned, injured again, as you said, he's now in. I don't know whether people know, but he's now linked up with Francisco Roig, who was with Nadal for 18 years. And Berrettini's entered his own very long association with Vincenzo Santapadre, who he'd been with since he was 13. So pretty substantial kind of, significant, should I say, coaching arrangement there for Berrettini. You would think that Roig coming in, it suggests that Berrettini's, raring to go and looking to kick on at this stage of his career. It suggests that he's fit and ready. Has been practicing at Melbourne, decided not to play a tournament beforehand, has been practicing on Rod Laver. So it's the same bet, over 10.5 games. It's still a very good price, plus 155 with Bet Rivers. Based on the fact that Tsitsipas has done so many of these long sets against big serve, that's still a very good price, I think.
Yeah, 9 tie breaks in their 5 matches that they played. One of them they played in a match that they didn't complete. It was a retirement after 1 set, and the other 2 have been in this sort of a shootout event as well. So in the 5 ATP Tour matches, 9 tie breaks, which suggests that. And obviously, if Berrettini is not 100% fit or he's got a fitness concern, you would think the first set would be the one with the most games, and he might tire or both of them might
They
tire
both
in.
could be struggling physically, but even so, that's still it's still very good value based on the stats.
Yeah, over 10.5 games in set number 1, Tsitsipas against Berrettini. We do not know the order of play. Remember to head to Bet Rivers, and you can bet and watch on the Bet Rivers website. Place a bet on the Bet Rivers website. Watch it on the Bet Rivers website. Live streaming all these matches for you across the ATP Tour and also on the Australian Open, on the WTA and the ATP Tour as well. So that's very good thing to watch it and have a bet as well. Next match up is Roberto Carballes Baena against Borna Gojo. Now, Borna Gojo is a heavy favourite here, minus 220, with the Spaniard Carballes Baena plus 170. The Spaniard has got really a terrible, terrible record on hard court over the years, but this season he started quite well. He's reached the quarterfinals of lost to Ben Shelton in Auckland. But on the way there, he beat Bautista Agut, he beat Offner. Very good performance. Gojo hasn't won a match this year. He's lost both of them. Artur Fields, Tabilo, who's shot finalist in Auckland. So this is quite an interesting one here. Gojo is actually a big outsider, a big favourite, but he's a much lower ranked opponent here. He's 91 in the world compared to 67 from the Italian. The spread here is 4.5, which does seem rather generous. Gojo giving up 4.5 is plus 104. Carballes Baena minus 132, receiving 4.5, and the total here is 38.5. Carballes Baena is some player that I just don't think I would really be trusting too much on a fast hard court. But given the form that Gojo is, he lost a bit of confidence. I know he lost 2 tight matches this year. He hasn't won. And Carballes Baena showed some really shock results and good form in Auckland. Do you think this one goes to the form book, or do you think it goes the way that the Bet Rivers odds compiler suggests here with minus 220 for Gojo?
I think Carballes Baena's got a very good chance of winning this. Given how he started the year, I'm more than happy to take him at this price. What is it, 2.7 plus 170, something like that?
Plus 170.
Yeah. I mean, he's beaten a Sebastian Offner who was in superb form, career form, you would say. He beat Offner, beat Bautista Agut in straight sets as well. Could have been closer against Ben Shelton. He took only 1 of 8 breakpoint chances against Shelton, did Carballes Baena. So he could not have started this season any better. He's held serve 83% of the time so far against those 3 very, very good opponents and posted a service points 1 and return points 1 total of 106. Now, I know this is very short term, but he has been improving in recent years on hard courts, certainly over the last sort of 12 to 18 months anyway. You got to make Gojo favourite. I can see why he's been made favourite on the hard court stats. Service points 1, return points 1 total of 101 compared to 97 for Carballes Baena, but Gojo, he's only won 47.7% of his second serve points. He's gonna have to play an extremely clean match to beat Carballes Baena over the best of 5 sets with these balls. He'll probably, it could be a test for RCB to kind of stick with him when the balls are brand new. But I think as soon as they start fluffing up, you make Carballes Baena a bit of a favourite for me in those conditions. So I'm more than happy to take Carballes Baena at 2.7. I think Gojo's he's over the best of. If this was over two sets on a really quick court with really quick balls, you'd fancy Gojo. But over the best of 5, with the way these balls are fluffing up, I think he's got a chance, the Spaniard.
Do you like the 4.5 start? I think the 4.5.
Yeah, that's generous, possible. Whenever I bet that, something weird happens. He'll like a drop a set 6-1 because he's got ankle injury or something, and then he'll come back and win the match, but not cover the handicap. I hate that. So I've just gone for the outright win, but I can see the value in doing that.
You just gone for the money line. Carballes Baena plus 170. All three of these are official picks for us, Sean. Yeah, we're going to go all 3 these official ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2 more matches to talk about. The next one is another match that I think is quite an interesting first round match, and the market here has gone a little bit crazy, I believe. Interested to hear what Sean's thoughts here. Grigor Dimitrov, a man whose career was pretty much going downwards this time last year. He's had a great end of last year, and he's continued his great form with a win in Brisbane. Beat Holger Rune in the final there. His first tournament since 2017. He's up against Marton Fucsovics. Now, Marton Fucsovics has played 1 match this year and lost it against Al Naudi at Brisbane in the first round of the tournament that Dimitrov went on to win. But they have met 3 times before. Fucsovics has won 2 of those matches, and every single match they've played has been a long one here. This is a lot tougher, I believe, than the odds suggested. Grigor Dimitrov is minus 530 and still attracting money, People are still putting him in. He must be a very popular bet for the parlays. People must look at his form at Brisbane and think, he's a man to be on this week. He's down to 40-1 to win the tournament. He's like, what, 8th favourite to win it? It just seems a little bit.
Statistics say that's never going to happen.
Because of his age.
Overreaction
here. An overreaction, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, just talking about the outright situation, no player has won their first major at the age of 30 plus since Peter Korda here in 1998. And no one as old as Dimitrov is now has won their first major, at that age since Andres Gimeno in 1972. So old players, if you want to call it that, they don't win majors. The first one, they might win second, third, fourth, fifth, 20th at that age, but not the first one. It just doesn't happen. It's unlikely that he's going to suddenly win a major now at the age of, 32, than he was 8-9 years ago. It's just, I can't say. I'd be amazed if that happened, to be honest. And the layers have just gone a bit crazy with this.
They have gone crazy.
I don't get it. I really don't. Because just based on their head-to-head, there's other factors as well, but the head-to-head, as you said, 2-1 to Fucsovics, all on outdoor hard. Beat Dimitrov in round 2 of the US Open, major on a hard court. Service points won and return points won totals in those 3 matches. Fucsovics 104, Dimitrov 96. So a clear advantage for Fucsovics over the course of those 3 matches. And the other factor here is that I'm not at all worried. I'm actually slightly pleased that Fucsovics didn't play his match in, was it Adelaide he was supposed to play? He always saves himself for majors. If you look at his record in round 1 of majors, he's won 13 of his last 16 round 1 matches at majors. And in that time, he's beaten Sinner, Korda, Medvedev, Shapovalov. He's really is one to be on in the first round of a major. He always, if there's any slight niggle, and he does get injured a lot, Fucsovics, he's going to down tools before a major, almost certainly, and save himself for that slam. So I've taken Fucsovics here with a slight caveat, just the plus 1.5 sets, which is still a very attractive price, plus 190 with Bet Rivers.
Yeah, plus 190. I'm looking at lots of different angles to get with Fucsovics. I think if you bet Fucsovics at plus 380 on the money line, you will be able to trade out of that. I think it's a great trading price. I think to take Fucsovics. I think Dimitrov doesn't do things easy at majors. I think he goes in a lot of long games. If you look at the stats between these two, there's a huge amount of long games, which makes it over 36.5 total. Look very generous for me here at minus 107. And also,
he's got to play brilliant, hasn't he? He's got to play so clean to beat Fucsovics at that price.
And the other thing,
he'll win it, but he's got to play fabulously to justify those odds.
The spread here is 6.5. 6.5 game start
Again,
for Fucsovics.
That's attractive as well. Yeah, I may have chosen the wrong bet here. I sometimes do.
Well, I think the angle is to get with Fucsovics in some capacity, in whichever way you take the choice. It could be long, but this is not going to be easy, and there is no way. Just because he's won the tournament here, Dimitrov is being priced up as a certainty against Fucsovics here, and I think this is a wrong price. I mean, really, if he didn't win in Brisbane and say he didn't play in Brisbane, what price would you be Dimitrov for this match? Minus $2, minus 220.
Yeah, this has been purely priced on his current form, isn't it? So if you take that current form out of the equation, then last time they played, actually, I've got it on the screen here. Dimitrov was actually a slight underdog last time they played.
Wow.
1.9 Fucsovics was as a favourite. So and the other 2 times, Fucsovics was only slight dog, 2.15 and 2.49.
Wow.
Now you're getting not far off double that price.
Yeah. I'm not saying he can win
it just doesn't feel right at all, this price.
No. There seems to be a public gamble for Dimitrov here, and the Fucsovics price is definitely wrong. Various different markets you can go to. Bet Rivers, 37 different markets on this match. You can have a look for yourself, see which way you want to go. Overs in the match, overs in the set, Fucsovics to win plus 1.5, win the money line, the handicap, whatever way you want to do it. But Dimitrov here is, for me and Sean, is not a minus 530 chance. The final match is a very, very heavy favourite we want to speak about, and it's Artur Fils. He's up against Jiri Vesely, minus 12.50 for Artur Fils. Jiri Vesely is plus $8. There's no other markets on the Bet Rivers website apart from this money line at the moment, minus 12.50 and plus $8. But you have an angle for this match. If you look at the head-to-head, they've never met before. But let me tell you something. Jiri Vesely is a tough opponent in opening matches in majors. He beat Sebastian Korda, didn't he? Sebastian Korda at Wimbledon.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, he beat Serendulu at the US Open.
I lost in the first round.
Yeah, I saw him play the week before that, or just a couple of weeks before that, and he played Ryan Pedeston
Oh
in
yeah,
Surbiton, and Ryan Pedeston beat him. He looked overweight, Vesely. He looked
he
out of
often does.
condition.
He
Terrible.
never looks like the fittest specimen that I've ever seen on a tennis court. That's for sure.
And then he come back and beat Corda. Dangerous opponent. And Artur feels is obviously just, did he pull out last night with an injury, or did he
got
complete
beat.
He got beat, didn't he?
Yeah.
There was another match that was injured. I thought he might come out of the injury, but he's a temperamental young lad. He's what, 19 years of age, 20 years of age.
19. Yeah.
This is he won't want to be playing Vesely, I don't think, here in wily old character like him.
Yeah, much of this depends on Vesely's fitness, because sometimes he shows up to these majors and clearly isn't fit. But he wants that first round money, I should think. It's a big old pot, isn't it, that you get for first rounds of majors these days. I'm hoping he's fit, but I've taken the caveat that he may not be, so I've gone with the first set here. But Fils has shown a bit of difficulty against left-handers so far in his main level career. He lost, as you said, to one again last night, Tabello, in Auckland as a hot favourite. Against left-handers so far in his career, he's at just 2-4 win-loss at main level, Fils, and a service points won, return points won total of 98.5. It's not great at all. 6 of 14 of his sets have gone to at least 12 games against left-handers, and 9 of 14, which is 64% of those, have gone to at least 10 games. So he's not, if he is winning these sets, he's winning them 7-5, 7-6, 6-4. He's not, he's not quite got the level on left-handers at main level yet. A 64% chance of this going to at least 10 and a half games. Sorry, 9.5 games is 1.56, which is minus 178. But we're getting roughly evens on over 9.5 games in the first set. I think it's very good value. Given how Vesely plays, all he needs is his serve, really, in the first 5 or 6 games of this set with the new balls in quick conditions. Should be enough to get you over 9.5 games at even money against a Fils who's coming in here perhaps with his confidence a little bit knocked, having lost to Tabello yesterday in Auckland. So happy to take even money if you can get even money plus 100, about over 9.5 games in set 1 here.
So those are the 5 matches. Those are the 5 bets. Very, very heavy orientated on total games. You've given us the breakdown, Sean. Just want to quickly run through those 5 matches and your picks on those games we've spoken about there.
Yeah, over 10.5 games in set 1 of Thiem against Felix, 2.65 plus 165. Same bet, set 1 of Tsitsipas Berrettini, 2.55 plus 155. Over 9.5 games in set 1 of Fils against Vesely, around about even money that should be. Roberto Carballes, Baena to beat Borna Gojo on the money line, around about 2.7 plus 170. And Marton Fucsovics plus 1.5 sets to beat Grigor Dimitrov at 2.9 plus 190 with Bet Rivers.
The action starts on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you head to the BetRivers website. You'll get all the order of play over the next few hours. You'll see when these matches start, but please make sure you check out. There's a huge amount of specials, unbelievable amount in the outright markets. There's a show, the tournament winner. You can see who Sean thinks will win the tournament. There's a load of specials as well, not only on the men's side, there's also on the women's side. There's a show with Roy Girani where we're looking at the outright market on the women's side as well. There's a huge amount of specials, players to make the semi-finals, players to make the quarterfinals, and there is a huge amount of markets on every single match at the first major of 2024. You will not find a better betting array of markets than you will on Bet Rivers. And remember, stay across all the content that we have here. We're going to be on here most days throughout the tournament, giving you some picks on each day. And you have to subscribe. Hit that like button and subscribe. Click the subscribe button here on the Betting Weekly Studios, and you'll click the bell and you'll be alerted every time any piece of content drops on the tennis over the next fortnight in Melbourne, and as well as the football as well. It's a huge week of soccer as action as well as that. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast, which you can get from your preferred podcast provider, whichever podcast provider you use, you'll be able to get that as well. And also give us a little subscribe as well on our, we're asking for a lot of subscriptions here, on our YouTube, on our Twitter, and also on our Instagram account. We might not be like Paulo Badosa and Stefanos Tsitsipas, but myself and Sean, we are, well, not really, but we are. You can follow us Sean at the dentist a bit later on. He'll be lying back watching the
I'm
tennis.
not Instagramming that. I can tell you that.
Well, no, there you go. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and on our Twitter or X at Because We Win. So that's the first round matches at the Australian Open wrapped up. We're just a day away now. The action is going to start on Saturday evening. Enjoy the tennis, and we'll be back later on in the week. Sean, good luck at the dentist.
Thanks.
Cash some tickets to pay for it. 5th time lucky. And we'll be back later on in the week. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the tennis, and good luck with your bets.